When Calls the Heart, Season 10, Episode 3, Oh Baby. The show opened up with Ned talking to some tourists. Rosemary wrote an article telling everybody about the spring and its healing effects that may be happening. And Bill was riding by and he didn't like it. He doesn't like all the tourists coming by. And when the tourists left, he went up to Ned and said, don't encourage them. Ned said, don't encourage the tourists that are here because of you and your healing effects with the spring. Bill rode away in a huff and he went to the saloon. There, Lucas and Mike were talking to more tourists. Bill came huffing in and fussing about somebody in his spot, so he couldn't hitch his horse where he usually does, and he had to walk all the way from wherever the hitch is to the saloon. And Mike, or it may have been Lucas, said, you mean 100 feet? And then while they were talking, the guest turned around and it was a lady and her son, and she apologized for, I guess, inconveniencing Bill. He said that was okay. And her son said, are you a real cowboy? Because Bill came in and said he couldn't hitch his horse. So the child thought he was a cowboy because of the hitching of the horse. And Bill said, no, but I ride a horse. Then Bill went to the table that he usually goes to. And when he got there, the lady and her son was sitting there. And he turned around and looked at Lucas and Mike and was like, what is going on? And then he turned around and walked out of the saloon. Elizabeth came to check on Rosemary and to bring muffins to their house. Rosemary was excited for the muffins, but when they got close to her nose, she shooed them away because they were making her sick. The smell was making her sick. While Elizabeth was there, Rosemary wanted to give her a list of fun things to do for the baby shower. And Elizabeth was kind of shocked, but she took the list. Rosemary wanted to have a meeting on what to do at the baby shower, but Elizabeth got up and made up an excuse to leave. May was sitting on the porch of the diner, looked like she was reading, and Rosemary was walking up to the diner. So May ran into the diner and gave them the code word I can't remember the code word, but gave them the code word of Rosemary's coming. So everybody split up and two people went to the register, and May went to a table to read. Minnie and Elizabeth were sitting at the table when she walked in. So everybody was separated. And Rosemary looked, I don't know if she looked confused or just she was expecting them to be talking about the baby shower or what. Nathan was waiting on Faith so he can escort her on her rounds. And she told him she didn't need him. She could ask, you're too busy. I could ask Mike or Bill or somebody else. And he said okay, and he walked away. Later on, when she came out of the office with her supplies, she saw the shaggy DA in the back of the wagon. And then she looked up and she saw Nathan sitting on the driver's side. And he said that he felt like it was his duty to go with her on her rounds. Finally, Faith gave in and she said okay, and she got up on the wagon and she took the reins. And she said, the only reason I'm agreeing to this is because I like your dog. After keeping Rosemary busy, the ladies threw her baby shower that she thought was happening next week, but it was actually the day that she was trying to get with Minnie and everybody to tell them about how to throw the baby shower. Lucas bluffed Mr. Smith. He told him he had evidence that he blackmailed the inspector into saying that the mine was okay to work in. So he agreed to go to the judge and tell him that Henry is innocent. The lady that came into town and took Bill's parking spot and his table, she was on the phone. She was in the saloon on the phone, and she said, "These are nice people. Are you sure this is the only way?" "Yes, I understand." And she hung up the phone. Henry came into Lucas's office and said, "What did you do?" Lucas said, "I'm not sure I understand." He said, "What did you do? Smith's gone and the charges are dropped. What did you do?" Lucas said, "I wasn't going to let an innocent man go to jail. I was trying to help." Henry said, "I wasn't asking for help. If it was help that I wanted, then I would have asked." Lucas said, "You're making it seem like I've taken something away from you." Henry said, "You've taken away the opportunity for me to pay my own bill." Lucas said, "I wasn't going to let a good man and a good friend go to prison for doing the right thing. But if you think that's wrong, I apologize." Henry touched Lucas on the chest and walked out of the room. The show ends after Lee gives Rosemary his gifts for the baby: a rocking chair and a baby basket, a wooden baby basket. And Lucas and Elizabeth chose their wedding cake. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.